and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey sister, how you doing?
Hey sister, it's been a while here.
It has been a while, but we have been very, very active. And so if you are watching tonight, we want you to get active and join in the party, join in the fun with us, and go to the Hey Sister page and watch live. That's what we want you to do, because we need you guys to get into the comments tonight, because tonight it's all about the hot topics, not hot pockets, but hot topics, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is all about hot topics. But as I said, we've been very, very active. So if you follow us on Instagram, let's go there first. If you're not following us on Instagram, you should be following us on Instagram. Why? Because we've been doing a Cheerful Giver giveaway. And so what we've done over the first 10 business days, because we're only doing this Monday through Friday, guys. So the first 10 business days of this month, what we've done is give a gift away each day. But you have to be in it to win it, right, sister?
Yes.
So tell them a little more about what was the inspiration, the impetus behind a Cheerful Giver giveaway.
So, in a nutshell, this is the season of giving, and I think that you and we've had many conversations about the commercialization, or maybe the over commercialization of the holidays. But we know that you're a small business owner, a woman business owner, a Black business owner, and there are a number of people within our circle, our intimate circle, who are small business owners. And I just wanted to figure out, how do we shine a light on what we're doing here at Hey Sister? How do we shine a light on our friends and family members who are starting their own businesses, and merge those things together during this season of giving? And so, very often we talk about what it means to support our family and friends, and what it means to support small businesses, Black businesses, women-owned businesses. But our support doesn't always, and I think we talked about this even with giving, that on our last conversation with Austin Taylor, it doesn't always have to be in the form of a huge purchase or a huge financial gift. It's the small steps that count. And as business owners are building their business, it's so important, especially when they use social media to advertise. It's so important for them to get new followers, get new exposure, to grow their businesses organically, because quite frankly, when you're putting all of your resources into your business, you don't really have a lot to spend on advertising and all those other things. So I just thought, what better way than to put our money where our mouth is. We say we support Black businesses. We say we support women-owned businesses. We say we support small businesses. So let's just do that during this season. And I think and every day I am reminded that a part of being a cheerful giver is not thinking about what it costs you, but what the benefit is to the other person.
Yes, absolutely. And so, like I said, for the last 10 business days, that's what we've been doing. So if you follow us on Instagram, and I dropped our Instagram tag in there, so you can go there, you can check out a Cheerful Giver giveaway. We've been featuring fellow small Black women-owned businesses, as well as going to their page and asking you to play along. And so it's real simple. It's real simple. What you do is you follow us on Instagram. Once you follow us on Instagram, you follow that featured business. Instagram and Facebook. But we're on Facebook right now. So if you're watching, I'm suspecting you're following us here, but you never know, because some people are stalkers. We know about lurkers, but we're not gonna go there tonight. But what we need you to do is follow us on both of these platforms. These are our primary platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Follow us there. Once you're following there, what we need you to do is then follow that featured business. And we feature some great business. So shout out to Blairism. Shout out to the Black Coffee Company. Y'all know they got a Black Coffee Company? Hello?
Yeah.
Shout out to K Hall Collection. And if I forget somebody, make sure you let me know. Yeah, shout out to Curly Beauty Supply Company. Y'all see this hair. We're going to talk about hair in a bit. Shout out to
Gullah Girl Marketplace.
Gullah Girl Marketplace. Hey, Chandra, I hope you're watching tonight. Shout out to
The Night Before Bayou Classic.
Was the Night Before Bayou Classic. Shout out to Preppy Socialite. And I think
Cohen writes books.
Yes, and Cohen writes books. That's the last one, right?
Yes, and let's recap. Let's breathe crafty.
Let's breathe crafty. That's right. So those are the 10 businesses that we have shouted out, and one of those business owners is watching. And so we shouted them out. They're featured business. So we need you to follow us, Instagram and Facebook. Follow that featured business. Drop them all in the comments, sister, so we can have people go back and follow. And then tag 4 friends. So that's what it's all about. You know, we can grow each other's platform organically and help one another grow that way. It helps expand our reach with people and potential customers that we never knew we had. And so all of the folks, I have really loved their stuff so far. We have someone who's gotten a prize, Miss Nashana. Hey, Nashana, how you doing? She said, that scarf from the K Hall collection is so soft and so beautiful. I'll be ordering some. And that's what we want to do. We want to feature each other, feature our businesses, and really help each other grow. And it is the spirit of the season. Oh, look at Chandra. She said she picked up some new followers. Yay! Exciting. So there's exciting things happening with Hey Sister. So again, like we said, we're talking about our Cheerful Giver giveaway. We want you to join in the fun. So please go to Instagram. We start back up tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. So we start back up and we want you to participate and play along. So with that, anything else you want to say about that before we get into these hot topics, girl? Because we got some doozies for y'all tonight.
No, again, I think you said it all, but I just want to reiterate: Black-owned businesses, small businesses, women-owned businesses. These are, when we talk about the economy and what's going to undergird our economy, and when we talk about our leaving a financial legacy, these are the things that are important, helping us have discretionary income, helping us have multiple streams of income, and supporting our own. So that's it.
And I'm going to say this.
Wakanda forever.
All right. How we build Wakanda? We build Wakanda one brick at a time. So y'all support what we're doing with the Cheerful Giver giveaway. Hey, Jody, thanks for joining us tonight. She said, hey, sisters. Hey, Jody. So Jody has been sending us messages. This needs to be talked about on Hey Sister. This needs to be talked about on Hey Sister. When y'all doing another Hey Sister? Okay, we know it's been a couple weeks, guys. We know. But we're gonna jump into this big one: impeachment. Or as my friend Blair of the Blairism says, IMPEACHMNET, or whatever Webby said.
Don't mess it up.
He said, or whatever Webby said.
Don't be out here like Al Sharpton talking about RESPICT. No, we're not doing it.
No, we're not. But it works. I can spell it. Hey, catch that beat. Y'all know what has been going on with this impeachment inquiry. I don't know, sister. What do you think about this impeachment inquiry?
What I think? I'm tired. I'm thinking that y'all getting on my nerves, because at the end of the day, if everybody really cared about doing the right thing, we would really be talking about let's get to the bottom of what is really happening in our society. We would really be like, this is important. If there's all this evidence, because I think someone said it on NPR really well. They said, the Democrats are focused on the facts of the case. The Republicans were focused on the procedure, how things are being done. And the fact of the matter to me is, do we or do we not want to know the truth? Because if you say, listen, you can just be somebody who's like, I don't really care what Donald Trump did. I think he's the best president ever. Fine, have that opinion. But when we talk about being a republic and having democratic values and having, wanting to do things the right way, I have to agree with Kamara. All these people can't be wrong. Again, I use the Halle Berry litmus test. Every man that you dated ain't wrong. Some of this is you, girl. So, it's the same thing here. All these people ain't lying on you, Donald. All these people ain't lying on you, little Donald Jr. and family. Y'all stole money. Clearly, if you're paying something back, you stole it. So everybody ain't lying on you. And when there are records of a person who lies every day, then it's like, I'm sorry, you're not the one that I'm going to necessarily lean towards as the
arbiter of truth.
Yes, there you go. A picture of morality. I'm just not going to lean towards that.
What's that? Hashtag that part. Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I think we all know what's going to happen here. He'll be impeached and then he won't be removed from office. And we know that, will have been a waste of everybody's time anyway. But, and, I think what we're seeing is people are hell-bent on staying in their corners. And why that bothers me is because I don't care where you are politically, you should have expectations for your congressman or woman to do the right thing, to seek out truth, to actually use some cognitive skills to read through evidence and ask pertinent questions. Because some of these people, when I'm hearing them talk, it's like, you ain't even asked the question. You just want to tell us how you feel about a situation. I don't care how you feel. Everybody has feelings. What are the questions that you're trying to ask? Are you trying to seek the truth? And I just don't think that is really happening. So at the end of the day, I just feel like we've gotten to this place in our country that is very sad and unfortunate, where we just really care about being partisan and not being truthful or honest or transparent or doing what's for the greater good. I think we just care about being in our corners and being the winners.
Okay. Well, I will say this. So I like the way you said that. And so the question for me lands on this: partisanship versus citizenship, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're supposed to be a part of a citizenry. So this is where it lands for me. It's a matter of, so the separation of powers, it's a matter of whether you do things right because they're right, or you do things for expediency, political expediency, or because it's convenient. Oftentimes in life, and we've all experienced this, the right thing to do is the hardest thing to do. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't always yield results. So from my perspective and vantage point, ding, and y'all saw a few months back, I got the Mueller report still sitting here, that 400-something page report after report after report after report. So something is awry, as if we're going to quote a Shakespearean play, something is afoul in Denmark. And if something is afoul in Denmark, then it is the Congress's duty to do their job. So I think they did their job. Now, whether or not you believe it's an impeachable offense is a whole different subject. But should it have been investigated? Absolutely. Should they have filed articles based on the evidence presented? Absolutely. And then in the Senate, should they be fair arbiters of the facts and decipher the information? Absolutely. But what we know, as you said, everybody has taken their position, they're in their corners, and they have already said that they are not going to be fair jurors in this instance, Miss Lindsey Graham, today. That's why, folks in South Carolina, you do have a choice of Jamie Harrison.
Did you say
I did not stutter, did I? Because we know that's the real reason why he don't went from the man being the worst thing since like the worst thing on earth to not he the greatest thing on earth. Girl, Miss Lindsay, go sit down. You do have a choice in South Carolina for a new senator. So I'll just say that. So really, at the end of the day, it comes down to what type of republic do we want to live in? And we, the people, do have choice in all of that.
I think it actually comes down to not necessarily just what type of republic we want to live in. I think it's what type of people do we want to be, and on what side of history do we want to land.
Yeah. So. All right. So other people who got their ass out, let's talk about Lizzo.
Shout out to Lizzo. Go Lizzo, featuring the Southern University Marching Band and fabulous dancing dolls in your video.
Yes, Lizzo. I love Lizzo. I'm all about, I do my hair toss, honey, because I'm doing good as hell. Okay. Love me some Lizzo. And I am all for people talk about, I don't fat shame. I'm from body positivity, all of that. But when you have your ass out, you got to be ready for the consequences of your ass being out, right? I mean, you put it out.
But I don't think...
Not figuratively, but literally. It was out. You had on a jersey dress, shirt dress with the back cut out with the slits, and literally your buttocks. Yes, you had on a thong, but your buttocks were out.
The cheeks were there.
Whoever told you that was a cute look, they lied to you that day, girl, because that was not a cute look. Now listen, y'all know I love Prince. Who out there know I love Prince? If you know I love Prince, type something in the comment section so I know that y'all listening there. You know I love Prince. Now Prince did it first. He went ass out with the chaps on. And guess what? I love Prince. But it wasn't one of his best looks. It wasn't one of his better looks. So if you put your ass out, be ready for the consequences. That is all I have to say on Miss Lizzo. But girl, keep tossing keep feeling good as hell. And tell him you 100% that what? You know the song. Go ahead. She did a DNA test. I did a DNA test. Somebody over here in the watch party said Lizzo ain't Prince. You got that right. She ain't earned that. But that's all right. If you put your ass out, be ready to deal with the consequences. That's it.
I shall say this. I think that Miss Lizzo went to the game with her ass out for a reason. I think very deliberate in the choice that she made in the outfit that she wore. I think she was literally shooting her shots from the sideline, and I ain't mad at it, girl. If you're in that position to do so, everybody know that, I used to love me some Vince Carter, and hey, if I was in her position back in those days, I might have tried to shoot a shot at Mr. Vince Carter as well.
But you wouldn't have had your ass out, doggone well.
Well, I wouldn't have had my ass out because that's not a part of my brand, but it seems to be a part of her brand. I mean, she wears leotards. I never wore leotards or unitards as actual clothing items, so
so when you're performing on stage and have on a leotard, you did wear leotards when you did ballet and tap.
Yes, I did, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't wear them as an outfit. So, of course, I wouldn't have worn that. I wouldn't have selected that dress, but I'm not mad at her for wanting to make a statement. She knew this was going to be an opportunity. She dropped her video one day. She had a booty out the next day. All I can say is this, though.
It is.
Where I do have some concern with the slight hypocrisy of it all is that the Laker girls were dancing to her song. And granted, maybe they weren't in thongs, but their shorts are pretty doggone short, and
You
they're
can see feet.
yeah, you can see their butt cheeks, and they have cut off tops, and they wear very revealing clothes. And I think at the end of the day, if people want to tell the truth and shame the devil, I feel like, don't miss me with all the, oh, it was a family friendly. If you take your kids to a sporting event, or if your kids watch sporting events, they are never family friendly. I'm sorry, cursing, throwing stuff on the court or throwing stuff on the field, fighting, drink, copious consumption of alcohol. Like, I don't think that is necessarily a family friendly environment, if you will. So
It's not.
similar to the Super Bowl and Janet Jackson's breast, if your whole life was shook because you saw Lizzo's butt cheeks, then you probably need to do some other things with your life. I will say though, I think there's, like I said, there's a bit of hypocrisy when if you're not shook by the Lakers girls, but you shook and they booty cheeks coming out the bottom of their shorts, but you shook by Lizzo's booty. If we don't talk about it, I say yes. It was probably a poor fashion choice, but other than that,
Well,
I
we have some comments about that. So on my watch party, our stylist extraordinaire, Miss Katrina Lee Jones, says she had an oversized T-shirt. She knew what she put on. Exactly. She knew exactly what she put on. We have another comment from Nashawn that said, I love me some Lizzo. That outfit was not a good look, no matter what size, particularly for a non-performance outfit. Absolutely. But then if that's the case, because see, I'm going to then blame Beyonce, because Beyonce got everybody think they should wear leotards.
I mean, there's a lot of people who make questionable, not questionable.
Fashion choices.
There are a lot of people who put things on their bodies that I wouldn't necessarily wear. But isn't that what they do on the runway every fashion season? You have people walk a runway with clothes. Like Kanye West had a whole entire clothing line of stuff with holes in it, and it looked like garbage selling for thousands of dollars. So the shock value is what people are going for. And so she went for it and she got it.
Well, I'm going to say this. Once again, if you put your ass out, be ready for the backlash, consequences, or whatever. And yes, the football cheerleaders have everything. I mean, we know the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are known for the smallest of small outfits, right? That's why they became famous. It is part of their job. And so do you, but
and that's part of her job too.
And that's part of her job too. So be prepared for whatever backlash or consequences that you get as a result. What she said? Oh, she put that whole outfit just didn't make sense to me, but maybe my booty is still on a journey of self-discovery. Maybe. But the thing that's hot right now, because her and Megan Thee Stallion, they everybody's back into they going big with the twerk thing. It's going even. It's like, okay, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And once again, if that's what you're going for, if that's the attention you want to draw, just be ready for all of it, the positive and the negative, because they all come. You can never have one without the other. That's just a way of life.
And I can assure you that as soon as I get my six-pack on, I'm going to be out here all kind of naked.
You're going to be Nicole Murphy in the situation. I already know.
Naked in the wintertime. Man, love.
Oh, anyway, let's talk about this. Okay, if you are not on Twitter, you missed the big story of yesterday. So if you are not and you follow me on Facebook, you see I shared the post today. So the author, Mr. Michael Harriot, the writer, who was the same writer who called out Pete Buttigieg when I shared his pieces there, he put this thing out there about Black famous. And so let me pull it up because I definitely want to read to you exactly what he said, because it's very poignant, and we'll get into the rest of this conversation. So Michael Harriot wrote, Black famous, quote unquote, is the gap between Black stardom and white anonymity. For instance, the highest possible rating on the Black famous scale would be someone every Black person knew, but was unknown by every white person. So I asked, who is the most Black famous person of all time? And so what began to trend on Twitter yesterday was the man. He's not a myth, but he's certainly a Black legend, Mr. Frankie Beverly. And so that led into a whole, I commented several times on Michael Harriot's post. And then today, one of our local favorites, Mr. Cameron Williams, he wanted to take it another step further. And he said, well, what's a Black famous song that all Black people know that white people would not know? So let me tell you. Yes, Chandra, folks do not know Frankie Beverly. As I shared on Michael Harriot's post, and when I shared it today on Facebook, there's a generation of Black children today, and even other generations. I won't go there. Somebody's watching, tuning in today, who know that they didn't know who Frankie Beverly was. I'm just gonna lie. I'm not gonna call no names, and don't call yourself out unless you want to. But there's a generation of children today who are going to grow up thinking that Before I Let Go is a Beyonce song, and that Beyonce invented bounce music and invented the slide to the left, slide to the right. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just gonna leave that out there.
Jubilee is at the beginning of that song.
Even though DJ Jubilee is at the end, but hey, we could do a New Orleans famous. A DJ Jubilee is a Louisiana famous. Who the rest of y'all probably like? Who is the hell DJ Jubilee? Well, come to Louisiana and put them on.
It's the same with Messy Maya and that whole thing with Beyonce. But let me just say this about the whole Black famous thing and Frankie Beverly. I think I had already told you the story, so I'm not gonna call any names out myself. But I was having a conversation with a younger sorority sister who's in her mid late 20s, and I was just going off about, because she was asking my opinion about Beyonce's use of like some of the, I forgot how the conversation started, but anyway, I was going off about, listen, I'm all for bounce music being spread across the world, but I just would like for the people who actually started it to get the credit that's due, because they are, so many of them are not, they are Black famous, New Orleans Black famous, not even, but they
not even Black famous,
and they, their voices, their style, everything can be heard. I mean, this Meg Thee Stallion chick, she's like blowing up, and I'm just like, Hot Girl Summer, my God, we had Hot Girl Summers in the 90s. Like, what are we
like the entire City Girls album? I'm like, girls. I hope these people getting some samples, like royalties or something, because y'all done stole like whole lyrics.
Drake. I mean, like, I like you, Drake, and I appreciate the appreciation, but it's like, when does appreciation cross over into appropriation? And even if we are Black, you can still appropriate. And why is it that if certain people do it, it's the rage? Because I remember having arguments about bounce being real rap music or not. Anyway, real hip hop or not. I had this conversation, and I'm going off and saying all of this stuff, and I'm like, but hey, you know what? Frankie Beverly said he's happy with her making the song, so if he's happy, I'm happy. And I recognized that there was like a long pause in the conversation, and I I realized that she didn't know who I was talking about, and I was like, so you didn't know that Beyonce did not make this song first, right? She was like, no, I didn't. So yes, there's a number of young Black people even who mamas and daddies, like, I saw somebody post a few weeks back about Anita Baker, and they were like, clearly y'all house dirty, because if your mama went listening to Anita Baker on Saturday cleaning the house, your house is dirty. So I guess it's a lot of
Anita Baker, or as I was playing this morning and having a conversation with my family, that turned into a whole nother conversation. Let's talk about the Clark sisters. See, If you grew up in a certain era like we did in a certain place, you might not have had Anita Baker playing on Saturday morning to clean up the house, but you sure had some gospel music playing on Saturday morning. Or if your mama woke up early on Sunday and put that gospel radio on, and you were like, why are you waking me up at 5 a.m.? But I know who brought the sunshine.
I know who brought it in my life.
And saved my life.
Yeah,
Since that day.
I think we had more of our mother really enjoyed Teddy P when we were growing up.
Yes.
Remember
that would have been a Teddy Pendergrass in the Saturday morning. We would have been turning off the lights.
The Teddy Pender, the lady.
All those rapey lyrics of the 70s of Teddy Pendergrass.
Hey.
Because he was telling you to turn off the lights, come on and go with me, all kind of stuff. All the rapey songs of the 70s of Teddy Pendergrass. It's all good, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yes.
So who do y'all think is the most? I mean, I think we clearly determined that Frankie Beverly was the most Black famous person ever. But who do y'all say? I mean, get in the comments, let us know. Because it saddens me. It saddens me. But at the same time, I feel like Frankie is kind of like a treasure. And
definite treasure at 70 years old.
And I don't know that I want everybody to love him like we love him. Like sometimes I'm like, I do want to have stuff for my own self.
Yes, Katrina, we cleaned up on that. Yes, ma'am. Look, my mother was Teddy's #1 fan, but did your mama have the Teddy jeans like my mama had?
Yes. There were some jeans with a little
There were some jeans with a little teddy bear and a TP in that little fifth pocket on the front. I'm just going to say, if your mama didn't have those Teddy P jeans, I think she might have some competition for being the #1 fan. I'll never forget. We were in Houston when she picked those up at visiting my aunt, uncle, and we went to this little store and she saw them Teddy P jeans and she just had to have them. Yes, them young folks. How many young folks know? They know we're gonna start this thing off right. They know Lil Duval is in the house, but do you know that I'm Curious is by Midnight Star?
Yes, well,
I'm gonna have to have another party, another Who Sampled Who party.
Well, shout out to Mr. Hankey, a Southern University alumni, who is the producer of that song. So we know that he was highly influenced by the folks in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s.
Yes, and so in my watch party here, someone says they mentioned Tom Joyner. He is very heavily talked about in the Michael Harriot post on Twitter. But what was interesting was also there were many people in those comments who thought Tom Joyner was just in DC and that he was local. They didn't know he was a nationally syndicated radio host. I was like, say what now? I don't know. Okay, maybe she was the #2. Just maybe.
Well, I told you, I was watching Ricky Smiley, and he on IG, he had a video, and he was hosting a show, and he was talking to it was Mike Epps, I believe, backstage, and then he was like, all right, and he was going to go behind the stage to go on. And the security guard, white guy, comes up to him like, okay, so who are you? And he's like, I'm the host. And so people were commenting about like he didn't know who Ricky Smiley is. So yeah, there's a number of Black famous folks that, you know.
So if you guys tell us, put it in the comments, who is the most Black famous to you? We want to know who are some of the most Black famous people to you as we transition into this next topic, because we got a couple more topics to get into tonight. So one of the things we want to talk about tonight is the Crown Act. And so what the Crown Act is all about is an effort to end natural hair discrimination. Hopefully in the new year, we'll be able to bring a special guest on to talk about natural hair discrimination in the workplace. We know that the state of California has put legislation in place where people cannot be discriminated against for wearing styles like the style I have on my head, or braids or dreadlocks or what have you. And so there is I dropped in the comments here. So Dove has a study about natural hair discrimination. And so what the acronym CROWN stands for is creating a respectful and open workplace for natural hair. So tell us in the comments, have you ever been discriminated against for your hair? And some of that discrimination can come in the form of, oh, I like your hair better when it's this way. If you've ever had that comment. Have you had that comment, sister? Oh, I like your hair when it's straight.
Um, I've had not so much I like your hair when it's straight, but it's a lot of like, oh wow, your hair, you're wearing it different today. And I'm just like, yep, it's straight. I actually haven't straightened my hair yet in my new job, and I've been on it for 2.5 years. So I don't think they haven't had that experience. But what they have had is I usually wear my hair in a bun. And then when I wear it like this, it's like, oh, you have your hair different today. And I'm like, it's down. I mean, that's the difference. Instead of being up in the bun, it's down. But I know in my previous job, there was one point that somebody who became one of my really, really good friends, but at one point, this guy, he would pass by me all the time and never say anything. And I used to be like, well, damn, like, do I look that different with straight hair? Like, what? Why are we acting like my face changed or morphed or something? So sometimes that used to be really interesting to me, how I would get spoken to and treated differently with straight hair than with curly hair. But,
Yeah.
I don't understand why we so worried. And especially for these young kids going to school, folks want to talk about cutting their hair. Folks want to talk about putting them, suspending them and different things like that. Listen, let me just say this, and I don't care if anybody gets offended. I really don't like when you spend time touching your hair all the time. And especially if I'm in line behind you anywhere, if I'm about to board a plane and you flicking your hair and you doing all of that stuff, guess what? I don't want that. I don't want the germs flying out of your hair onto me. I can get really testy about what your natural hair looks like, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
We have to live with it. We have to deal with it. It is just, it is considered mainstream and there's nothing we can do about it. So leave us the heck alone about our hair. You know what? I think that it's beautiful that so many sisters are embracing their natural hair. And I would much rather see them love their natural hair and wear it beautifully than to have, something that is not authentic to them because it makes you feel more comfortable. Chill the hell out. Maybe I don't like your straight as a whatever straight line hair.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I want you to put a rod in your hair and get some bounce or something. But I don't tell you nothing. So don't tell me nothing.
So we got a couple comments. So Dr. Candace Jones, she's watching in the watch party. One of our faves, she said comments people should keep to themselves and touching our hair. We got a comment here from Ms. Tita that says, I have had all sorts of crazy comments. I almost punched someone out at work when I came with twists and literally ran up and touched and pulled on it so hard saying, what is this? That prompted a whole conversation within the organization. Yeah, so that is why you should go to thecrownact.com. Dove is also one of the organizations that is behind there's a petition so that we can end natural hair discrimination across this country. And so let's do it. I know there's a movement here in the state of Florida as well. There are other states that are taking it on. So let's end this natural hair discrimination and let's all embrace our Miss Universe, baby, because that sister not only went with her natural hair, but she had a cut like Dr. Candace. She said, I'm keeping it short too, because I'm going to be me. And I was like, yes, beauty, go head on.
Right. Well, I will say I did have somebody that I remember in our employee resource group at my previous company that said that she wore a wig because there were comments about her hair. So she wore a straight wig. And then at the current place that I work, I had someone say, she has natural hair like me, but she pulls it back every day. And she had someone, actually a Black person, if I recall, tell her that if she wanted to basically advance, she needed to kind of tame her hair. And like I said, at the end of the day, India Arie said it best. I'm not my hair. I think we can allow people to be their best selves and come to work and enjoy the fullness thereof of their, be their best selves, be their natural selves. Don't be touching on people's hair without their permission. Just go.
And Jody says she's bald. We know Jody has her, and people want to touch. As the baby said, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, stay out of people's hair.
Stay out of my space. How about that?
50 feet. Give me 50.
Give me 50. Give me 50. Now, this leads us to this other conversation about pay equity and discrimination. So, sister, I'm gonna let you lead this conversation because this actually is about a company that is near and dear to your heart that is doing some things here, and I'm gonna drop those articles in the comments section. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the Intel Corporation released its annual diversity report, and in it, they also released some pay information, and the idea is that you can't fix what you don't talk about, and so they have been very transparent in saying, look, this is where the pay gaps are, and this is how we need to go forward and address them. And the hope is that other tech companies, so apparently, let me back up. With the Obama administration, shout out to President Obama, but you still 44, we still love you. But with the Obama administration, there was a requirement for corporations to examine pay equity and do this specific reporting. Now, the companies could choose to make that information visible, or they could keep it for themselves. But they had to at least do the work, the back.
Do the work, people. Do the work.
So, of course, the expectation was that most companies would just keep their information private. But Intel decided to go public with their information, and the hope is that.
So shout out to Intel for having the bravery and the courage to go public with that information, because there are many organizations and corporations who have done this work and they will not make it public.
Exactly. And so the hope is that
some of you who work at those corporations, hold on, let me just throw this little ditty there, because then some of you who work at those corporations, you just get a phone call like after the Lilly Ledbetter Act was passed and you're told that, oh, we're adjusting your salary. And you like, oh, really? Well, thank you. Look at God. We have the look at God moment. Won't he do it? But again, go ahead, sister.
Yeah, look at God. Won't he do it? But it's like, why is it even this way in the first place? So, if you look at the information, the findings, white men and Asian men in tech, no surprises there, but they're getting paid the most. And for people, people say, well, are they more experienced or whatever? They're looking at the aggregate data. So people can be at the same, I believe it was 51,000 US workers were examined. And so overall, white men and Asian men were paid higher, significantly higher than their Hispanic and Black counterparts and white women. But white women were paid more than Black men and women and their Hispanic counterparts as well. So the charts are all there. And yeah, I hope that other companies will be visible with their findings too.
Yes. So hopefully other people will follow suit. But I think this just is something that we've talked about all along. Pay equity, period. And I can't remember how the quote goes exactly, but it just says when you've always been in a position of privilege, when someone asks for equal treatment, then you feel that it's oppression. And that's equity still is frightening for some people because they've been in a position of privilege for so long, or in a position of power for so long, that they feel like equity is oppression. And that is a sad state of affairs that we're in. And so my hope, because still women are not, and this shows up over the course of a lifetime, that women are not being paid equal pay for equal work. Still to this day, it's still an issue no matter what industry. It's still an issue no matter what state, city, jurisdiction that you live in. It is still an issue based on gender, based on race, period. And we have to do something about it, and we have to demand something be done about it. So take a look at the articles, y'all. Read what they have to say. And if you're working in an organization and you're wondering, I wonder where we stack up, maybe start having some conversations with HR and see how you stack up. And then if you've ever been one of those people, I've been one of those people before, that got one of those, oh, your salary is being adjusted. And then you start talking to your peers and you look around and see whose salary being adjusted. And that lets you know up front that you were not even being paid the same as people you were doing the same work as. It's still a problem.
It is a problem, and I think, to your point about when you've been privileged for so long, and then when other people are saying, "Hey, I want to be treated equally," or "I want that same level," I want to even this playing field, and you feel like that's oppression. I think there's another part of it that what I guess bothers me a little bit is the question of why is it that somebody else winning means that you have to lose. So it's like it doesn't have to be this zero-sum game. If other people are doing the work and they are seen as valuable in an organization, it's very interesting, because when diversity and inclusion becomes a part of the conversation, in the last several years, we have seen, particularly, it seems to be in alignment with this current administration as well, there's this idea that by promoting and hiring and retaining people of color and women and underrepresented minorities, that somehow that means white men are losing. And the data just doesn't pan out that way. So I'm just always curious as to this. How are you losing? How are you losing? One of my friends told me a story, and she's watching, but I'll kind of paraphrase her story a little bit, where she was saying that she went for a job where she was up for a promotion, and they kept pushing it. And then when they kind of did some kind of sneakily roundabout stuff to get other people promoted. And so they started reading, folks sending out this announcement. So she's realizing, wait, my peers are getting promoted. And then some non-Black people were seeing those same promotions coming out, and they were getting upset. And when she started having conversations with them, she found out she was getting paid even less than what they were getting paid. So they mad about Tom getting a promotion, and she's at their level, and she was getting paid less than what they were. And if they if there was not this idea that Tom is getting more than me, now I'm upset about it, she would have never even found out that she was getting paid less than her counterparts. So
it happens. So if you've ever experienced anything like this, I know Jody, you are HR specialist. Let us know what's going down in these workplaces, folks. But I think that it's just time for there to be equity all around. And again, doing what's right. We talked about this up top when we talked about impeachment. Doing what's right is not always easy or expedient. It's usually difficult, but it's still right.
Right.
That's it. So let's talk about all wrong. Harvey Weinstein back in the news again. All wrong.
Harvey,
All wrong.
he got this walker, girl. I'm like,
Cause he gonna be blind like Bill Cosby soon. He on a walker. He looking all hunched over now. I'm like, and you ain't even been in no jail, anybody jailhouse.
right. You've been at
That part. You been at the house chilling, Harvey. You done lost the use of your limbs.
it's so infuriating. So I guess my understanding now is that the settlement is just for the civil charges, and that there will potentially still be a criminal case. But I just feel like in my spirit, so often when people see a criminal outcome, then it influences the civil outcome, or they see a civil outcome and influences the criminal outcome. I just feel like this is a whole setup for us to be sitting up here like, oh, poor little Harvey, he just can't even walk. He out here in these streets on a walker or something like that. Oh my gosh.
I don't feel sorry for you, Harvey. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for Matt Lauer. I don't feel sorry for Kevin Spacey. I don't feel sorry for Bill Cosby. I don't feel sorry for Aura Kelly. Like I said when we talked about Lizzo, if you go put your ass out, be willing to deal with the consequences. You shot your shots, and now the shots is firing back. And that don't get me started on that damn Prince Andrew over there in London.
Girl, you see Meghan and Harry gonna be over here. They like, we not gonna spend Christmas over there this year.
Prince Andrew had the audacity, because clearly he and Donald Trump have hung out together. And these people are like, don't believe me, don't believe your lying eyes. Like these, I got 4 of them. You see, I got these 2 that God gave me. And as I'm maturing, I need a little more assistance. So then I got these 2. I could go get another pair and throw them on. So I got 4. This is not 2020. This is 2020. And you're going to say you didn't know who that girl was, and we see you on the picture with the girl?
Well, we all take pictures with people we don't know.
We do take pictures sometimes with people we don't know.
No lies, we don't. I'm not.
No, that's not true. Sometimes I have taken pictures with. I listen. Let me tell you something. Y'all know I was in the pharmaceutical industry. I was working a conference, a doctor's conference, and maybe it was my exotic look. Maybe it was this natural hair. I don't know. But these doctors from whatever country, they think they were from South America somewhere. They all wanted to take a picture with me. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to tell you about aspects right here, but all right. So they wanted to take a picture with me. So I have pictures of with me with some doctors somewhere in South America. If you know who if you've seen this face.
Okay.
And it's in any position that's unkind. But I will remember. I don't remember that man specifically, but I remember that I took a picture with somebody who I didn't know. So Andrew, to have 0 recollection, bruh, what drugs was you taking that day? You probably was taking some because you was trying to get it with that young girl, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Listen, I've been with you when the people want to take pictures and touch your hair and walk across the streets and all. So yes, I mean, when we were in Greece, it was like, clearly they think she's Beyonce. Because if more people stared, then I was getting mad, and you're like, it's okay. No, but other than that, like I try to kind of refrain from taking pictures with people I don't know. Like I kind of try to limit that, because in these internet streets,
In these internet streets.
can happen. People can really take your image and repurpose it for evil. And so I try to be more mindful of that. But Prince Andrew is lying. We know. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Boom. There it is.
You know,
Yes. I feel sorry for no one at all. Now, the only people I feel sorry with were the people who are victimized. And so a lot of these young girls were most definitely victimized. He is a train wreck, and that's why the Queen. So if y'all don't watch The Crown is one of my favorites. I've already binged watched season 3. The Crown is one of my favorites. It's fabulous, fantastic. And as soon as they said Elizabeth done told and Charles done told him, okay, you don't need to do no more official thing. I was like, ooh, the crown done struck again. If you watch The Crown, Queen Elizabeth, now she's 90 some years old. She's been since she's been in her 20s having to tell people. She even had to dismiss her uncle. Like, you can't do nothing else to represent this crown. She's had to do it to her children. She's had to do it more than one time to her children. So yeah, I'ma just say, Andrew, with your line baton. But see, but we still did we ever come back to Jeffrey and how the security guards are now being are facing charges for Jeffrey committing suicide up in that prison in New York? I still want to know what y'all done found in Jeffrey's apartment. Because there was an investigation. FBI, where is the evidence y'all took from Jeffrey's house?
Do we know that Jeffrey is really dead?
Girl.
I'm just saying, El Chapo walked clean underground. So I'm just saying, do we really know? We saw a body on a gurney, but did we see Jeffrey? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying.
I don't know, girl. I don't know. But since we talking about the departed, I won't say dearly, but the departed, I want to give a little RIP to a couple of folks here. So if you saw the movie Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr., he made the
someone else you don't feel sorry for, I'm sure.
I don't feel sorry for Cuba either. If you want to grab on ass, be willing to deal with the consequences of grabbing the ass. The ass is getting everybody in trouble, it seems. But the man who he played passed away at 73. And so the great thing is that Radio, as he's known, was a man of abilities. How about that? I want to find his real name. So he was from Anderson, South Carolina, and his name was James Kennedy. He died this morning at age 73. There are many, many articles about him you can read about, but if you saw the movie, you kind of get the gist of it. But although he was a man, what some would say of a disability, he had many abilities, and he had the ability to really shed light and shed love and to be a giving spirit. And so want to say rest in peace to Mr. Kennedy, also known as Radio. And then the other RIP is to one of our favorite character actors, Mr. Danny Aiello, who, and hopefully I'm pronouncing it exactly correct, who died, I think he was 82, which I was like, I'm still seeing you as Sal from Do the Right Thing. Because he looked good for he made it to look real good. But he played in almost every Spike Lee movie there is. Played in many movies, Moonstruck. You know, he's an Italian gentleman, and he passed away as well this past week. So wanted to say R.I.P. to those folks.
And to Carol Spinney, is that I
Yes.
believe that's the correct way to pronounce his last name, who of course played Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street.
Yes. So rest in peace and rest in power to all of those people. And we've also lost some people who personally near and dear. And so to all those families who are experiencing any type of loss this time of year, we want to say our thoughts and prayers are with you. And you know, be assured and confident in knowing that you will see your loved one and be with them again in a better place, in a different place. Um, and so that's all I have this evening. So, sister, what you want to tell the people other than like, follow, and share our page, share this show. Go to Instagram and participate in our Cheerful Giver giveaway. We start back up tomorrow. We have 10 more business days. We have 10 more awesome businesses we're going to feature. So like, follow, and share us here at Hey Sister. And sister, I'm going to let you close us out.
I think that you said it all. Thank you, everybody who dropped into the comments. I think this was a really good conversation. And please let us know what you want to talk about in 2020. You know, 2020 is right around the corner. It's the year of vision. Everybody is really excited about what 2020 is going to bring. I believe it is going to bring all of us peace, prosperity, and happiness. So with that, please let us know what you want to talk about on Hey Sister.
Yes. All right. We'll come to you one more time before the end of the year. But tonight, good night, everybody.
Good night.